Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick.
And this is, meant to be a less hairy Justin. Slowly getting hairy.
It's looking good, man.
Yeah.
It's looking good. You're slowly becoming a Wookiee, just like me. Welcome back to the Hangar Bay, our weekly show where we talk about your submitted X-Wing list, back around to the Rebellion, and we're talking about what is arguably the most iconic ship in Star Wars. Arguably, maybe it's the X-Wing, maybe it's the TIE Fighter, but we're talking about the Falcon.
I still reckon it's the Falcon.
Yeah, I reckon so too.
It's been in quite a few movies, including Episode 1.
Indeed.
Not the Falcon, but a Falcon.
Oh, I thought it was Episode 3.
I thought it was Episode... Oh.
And I thought that was actually meant to be the Falcon, which was controversial because it didn't look like Lando's Falcon.
Yeah.
We're getting way off track. This is a really, really cool ship. Introduced way back in Wave 2 of First Edition, and it immediately became very meta viable because of Fat Han builds where you just stack on all this stuff. Han Solo still has like these really dumb dice modification abilities where he basically picks up all his dice and re-rolls them.
Yeah.
And just
These days it's normally it and two other ships.
Or it and one other ship.
Yeah.
The meta has been shifting around actually. There was a Fat Han build that won some major tournament. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was an SOS. But it was Han Solo and Jake Farrell in an A-Wing.
Yeah.
Also using the Luke Gunner card, which is typically regarded as a training wheels card, which was quite interesting. We do see it crop up here and there because it's just an absurdly powerful effect, but you're paying for it. It was it was 30 points. It's now not
26, I want to say. I don't know.
Whatever. It's obscenely expensive for a reason. The ship itself is very, very nice indeed.
Yeah.
Its stats are 3 red dice at the bow tie. That's forward and backwards or side to side. 1 agility, 8 hull, and 5 shield.
The actions include focus, target lock, rotate turret, and red boost.
And we can mess around with this action bar a bit. If you take engine upgrades for 7 points, it allows that boost to become white, which is really, really nice.
Yes, but if you take the Millennium Falcon title, which only costs 6 points, you actually get the evade.
Yes, and also a good reason to have evades, because while you are evading, you can re-roll defense dice. Cool.
Seems good.
Seems very good. I mean,
you don't always necessarily want it on Han, because Han already re-rolls dice.
yes, that's true, but redundancy doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
It doesn't hurt at all. It only has 1 green defense dice, so adding evade and getting to re-roll the dice, if you're only rolling 1 green dice, you're pretty much guaranteeing an evade result anyway. I suppose the idea is if you're taking multiple shots, which is very fluff compliant with the Falcon, being chased by multiple TIE fighters and just evading everything. That's what it's all about. Seems like a decent thing to be able to do for 6 points, that's for sure.
Yeah, those guys really hate that ship.
They do. Some really awesome, iconic pilots, all of which I love. We'll talk about those when we get to the actual list themselves, but just having this kind of platform with the gunner, the 2 crew, you can do some really, really cool stuff with it. Very powerful alongside Leia Organa in the crew slot. Still is. She went back up in points. That's fine. She's still very powerful. There's still something we can do. Not featured in any of these lists that we're going to have a look at now. I will just say that the lists we're going to have a look at are very janky, but
they're very fun.
They're very fun. They certainly captured our imagination.
Yeah.
If you would like to submit a list for us to have a look at in one of these Hangar Bay episodes, simply copy all of the text, including all pilots and upgrades, into a comment down below in one of our YouTube videos. Please also be sure to include a link to that squad within your favourite squad builder. Now, if you're unsure how to do this, simply head over to Yet Another Squad Builder 2.0. They have a fantastic squad builder built into this website. You have drop-down menus that can help you find all the upgrades and everything that's legal for the ships that you want to build with, as well as a simple text viewer that you can use to copy out all the text. And if you're part of the Patreon Discord, put all of this into the relevant list submission channel on that. Every week here, we are sure to include one patron list, so if you're part of the Patreon Discord, it means you have a much higher chance of being featured in one of these videos. In terms of meta play for this ship, we're basically looking at Han, Jake, or Han +2 kind of things, which is something you can do. You can just go Han, Luke, Wedge, and nothing else, and that just fits in if you really want to do that kind of stuff.
198 or 199.
Something like
Seems
that,
good.
yeah. Same with Lando, like you can do very light builds. In fact, why don't we start off with this list here submitted from our Patreon by the user McCrae. I think this is one of the more competitive things we could be doing with this. We actually had a few lists submitted on the Patreon, very similar to this. But this has Lando with Nien Nunb and Jyn Erso as opposed to like Han with nothing, alongside Garvin Dreis and Warden Squadron Pilot.
So Lando has Nien Nunb, Jyn Erso, and the Millennium Falcon title.
Garvin Dreis has Perceptive Co-Pilot.
And the Warden Squadron Pilot has Barrage Rockets and Advanced Slam.
Yeah, so we've stacked on a few more points on a couple of these platforms. In fact, all the platforms have upgrades on them at the cost of having like way more powerful pilots. You could put Wedge on this if you really wanted to, instead of like Garvin or...
I don't know, Garvin's really good with his ability.
Yes, this is reminiscent of something that happened in the Australian Nationals, actually, and it's cropped up here and there. Garvin Dreis alongside a K-Wing. It's not a Siege Tuketu, though.
Yeah, now if you had Tuketu on this, those two combo together really nicely.
Because Garvin can spend a Siege's tokens, and then a Siege can get another token. It's a very weird kind of interaction, but kind of fun.
Yeah.
It means Garvin can do whatever action he wants. You open up a bit more flexibility there. Now, if you wanted to do that, a Siege costs 6 more points than the Warden Squadron. You could just cut the Millennium Falcon title and flip-flop those around, and that all works fine. Yeah. There's nothing else that cleanly comes out. I actually quite like Barrage Rockets on this because of that interaction.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You need a focus token in order to make them work, so why don't you put it on something that wants to take focus tokens anyway? Seems really solid.
Also, Advanced Slam, good idea.
Yeah. Why not? You can slam focus. You can't slam focus and then fire with Barrage Rocket. You can still use the focus token and get another one to like have multiple defensive focus tokens. That seems all right. I still like a Siege Tuketu. I still think,
I think
the interaction is just too powerful to ignore.
Yeah.
Not the Millennium Falcon isn't powerful itself. It comes down to whether you think Lando is going to get hammered. And he might, but if you're cutting 6 points off, he goes down to 87 points. I don't hate that.
Also, it's 1 large and 2 medium ships. It's kind of nice to... It's got a good synergy.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Also, they're all... No, they're not all Initiative 5. Lando and Garvin are Initiative 4 and 5.
Yeah.
If we went with a Siege Tuketu, it would be 3, 4, 5. Yay! It doesn't work. I feel like having a bit more of a synergistic build alongside the Falcon would make a bit more sense to me.
Yeah.
But I don't hate this.
No.
Millennium Falcon's a good upgrade. And yeah, I suppose at the end of the day, Lando is going to be the one targeted.
Also, with Jyn Erso being on Lando,
Yeah.
when Garvin gives back the focus,
It can
change it to an evade.
That's right, you can turn to an evade.
That's very cheeky.
Also, the Perceptive Co-Pilot on Garvin means you can get an evade and a focus when he uses his focus action, which seems pretty decent.
Yeah, I actually... Yeah,
There's no cap on Jyn either.
No, I actually really like the idea of changing Warden now to Tuketu, and I think that would be perfect.
Also, Millennium Falcon loses a bit of value because you can just focus for an evade token. It just means you don't get those re-rolls. Yeah, Millennium Falcon... I don't feel like it's quite pulling its weight for 6 points. I feel like it's way better on Han, for example.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd do. A Siege for Millennium Falcon, but still cool.
McRae, if you actually fly this list, maybe try changing it to Tuketu and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, try both approaches. I'm always a fan of experimenting with things that seem good. Let us move along to this next list by Gus Call. This is YT Buddies with Han Solo and Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, now Han Solo has Bistan, Perceptive Co-Pilot, and Chewbacca.
Lando has Seasoned Navigator, a well-seasoned navigator, and Nien Nunb.
Some Salt Bay.
That's right, a bit of Salt Bay. So Lando has this interaction here. I mean, Nien Nunb is a no-brainer on Lando. He was in first edition, works the same way in second edition. Because Nien Nunb changes now your bank maneuvers, and when Lando fully executes a blue maneuver, he basically does a super coordinate. It means he can take an action, or Han can take an action in this case.
Which seems good.
Seems good. I mean, Han's going to be at range 0 to 3 of Lando. Whatever. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's really the way you've designed this list. And with that kind of action economy, you can ensure that Han keeps his shots by rotating his arc even before he gets to move, which is great. You can take a focus to get double focus with Perceptive Co-Pilot. You can then do an S loop and then have 2 focus tokens. It seems really nuts.
What does Bastan do again?
Bastan is one of the stronger gunners on the Rebellion. So the Rebel Alliance have a bunch of these gunners, which is kind of like veteran turret gunner, but they work a bit better, like extra shots under certain circumstances. So when you perform an attack, if you are focused, you may perform a bonus turret attack against ship you have not already attacked this round. And the cool thing here is it can be out of the same arc. Yeah, Bastan's good. Bastan's really good.
And having that perceptive co-pilot means that you're more likely to have 2 tokens if you've already spent 1.
And having Lando alongside you also means you're more likely to take your action.
Yeah, this seems pretty good.
It seems really good. I like that a lot.
Now, Season Navigator.
Ah, yes, this little interaction here.
So Season Navigator reads, after you reveal your dial, you may set your dial to another non-red maneuver of the same speed. While you execute that maneuver, increase its difficulty.
Nia Num also stacks on the ability to decrease the difficulty of your bank maneuvers. Unless I've interpreted the rules incorrectly, you can make your blue 2-bank maneuver white and then blue again, and then Lando can do his thing. It seems a lot of fun. I mean, that's cool. You can do a 2-speed maneuver in a different direction. It's got to be the same speed? Same speed, okay.
So you could go left to right.
But you can change the S loop to a white 3-bank if you want to. I mean, these are things you can do. It's kind of fun. And there's a nice bit of upside there. It is 7 points. You could make the argument that just having the title on Han is better than that. I'm sort of in the business of thinking that myself, considering like you're making Lando work anyway with Nia Num alone. That's why I sort of think like that.
That's true, but at the same time, it's then making Han that extra bit fatter.
Yeah, that's true. It's the way this has been built out. The points sort of are much closer together. Han's 108 and Lando's 92, and adding the title onto Han, cutting Season Navigator would make them go in the opposite direction, and make Han look quite juicy. Although Han does have Chewbacca. And Chewbacca...
maybe you do want to do that then.
I like Chewbacca as a card more and more as this game progresses. It's not something that was really on my radar at the start of 2nd edition, but having like a no-fuss answer to face-up damage cards...
Every 2 turns.
Yeah. It seems good. I mean... You're not likely to get face-up damage cards every single turn. You might, and that sucks, but you're not likely to.
And if the game is running long, you actually are more likely to get more damage.
That's true. Also, it doesn't tax the action economy like almost every other regen card does.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really regen. You're just flipping cards face down. But it means you're getting rid of your console fires and the likes without having to tax your action economy.
Yeah.
Which is really good when you want to focus.
Definitely.
So, yeah, it seems really good. Twin pancakes, only 2 attacks. Yeah, 2nd edition. I know it's not as good as it was in 1st edition, so that's the kind of thing that might hold us back, but it's a cool concept, and I really love the interaction between these 2 ships.
Yeah.
This next list is Saw's Smugglers by Nano Antonio. This has Saw Gerrera and a couple of the generic Outer Rim Smugglers.
Yeah, now Saw Gerrera only has the pivot wing.
Yes, indeed. And the Outer Rim Smugglers, they are different builds. They both have hull upgrade. One of them has Lando Calrissian.
And the other has Jyn Erso.
Yeah. Cool. That's kind of fun. Lando on one and Jyn on the other.
Yeah, cheeky.
It is cheeky. So Jyn allows you to turn focus results into evades. I suppose if Lando makes you roll 2 focus, you can go focus evade.
Yeah.
If you really want to. I mean, if you roll focus evade, you wouldn't want to go evade. Realistically,
no.
I think you'd rather have a focus and an evade. Mathematically, that seems like a much better option. It's going to suck when you don't roll focus with Lando.
Yeah,
it's fun though. I like Lando.
Yeah, and I suppose if you roll blanks, your opponent's going to give you 2 evades, and you're going to be like, "Oh, damn! It means I'm going to more likely survive." Because they're not likely going to give you the focus.
That's true. It's just when Lando rolls blanks, that's when it sucks.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Also, the buying cost of these pilots. Yeah, look, going to Lando or Han in the pilot seat would be way more expensive than the builds on these. So that checks out. Chewbacca, this is going a bit more for a silly build. We want the generics.
Yeah, and I think Saw Gerrera with his ability makes the Outer Rim Smugglers that little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as they're damaged, they can reroll attack dice with range 0 to 3. Yeah, that's going to be
which is why they've put the hull upgrade on here. I mean, we don't normally like hull upgrade, but with this it works pretty well.
It needs to have extra value. Yeah. That's what we're doing with this kind of stuff. I would consider hull upgrade on Saw, which what would that cost? 5 points, as opposed to the 3 points on these fellas here. It's based on agility. Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't really cut.
No, we're up to 200 points, so yeah. So basically, this is a few really powerful guns on the table. I will say my biggest criticism of this is the fact that Initiative 1 large base ships are pigs to move around. I despise it. Yeah. I've tried it. I don't like... They got to get out of the way of Saw Gerrera, and they're just so huge and clunky.
Yeah, but if you keep them in front of Saw Gerrera...
that's... Yeah, I suppose, and they can move out of the way, but they've got to constantly move out of his way. It's not fun. It's not fun. I mean, I suppose if like you're turtling, you're doing like a fortressy kind of approach where you're just sort of bumping your ships slowly, like kind of stuff, and just trying to, fire all your guns at your opponent at the same time by just clumping them together. Yeah, it is awkward though. Yeah. It's something I've often struggled with myself. And at the end of the day, yeah, Jinoso and Lando is going to give you a heap of tokens, but is that really that worthwhile on Initiative 1 Falcons? It's fun.
I don't know. It does give them survivability.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, Saw Gerrera can take evades for what that's worth. Sure. He can also coordinate the other two ships, which is quite nice. It's a lot of chunk. It's a very chunky boy, this list.
Oh, yeah.
Look, considering like Rebel Beef with like 4 or 5 ships that have much more synergistic things. I don't know. I like it. I don't love it. I think the awkwardness is what sort of holds it back in my mind.
I don't know. Having 4 red dice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, it feels pretty good indeed. Lastest we have here is Wookiee Rage by Nate Handy. With a bunch of Wookiees, Chewie, Wolfwire, and a Kashyyyk Defender.
Yeah, now Chewbacca has Selfless, Lando Calrissian, and the Millennium Falcon title.
Wolfwire has Selfless, Leia, and Hull Upgrade.
And the Kashyyyk Defender has Electronic Baffle.
Yes, sorry Leia, a lot of walking carpets in your near vicinity.
Yeah.
That's how it is. The Azatak is, I want this ship to do well, but... It's rough, man. It's rough. Second edition Reinforced isn't as good as it was in first edition.
Yeah.
These things were just wrecking havoc in the meta before second edition came around, so I understand why they were conservative. Yeah. However, Leia, Selfless on Wolfwaro, 3-ship build with Chewbacca, it all seems good.
Yeah.
Nothing seems bad
And the
here.
Kashyyyk Defender having Electronic Baffle means that it can take at least 2 red stops in a row.
Yep, that's good.
Like, at minimum.
I was thinking before we had a look at this, we could put Leia onto that ship instead, because being able to do the extra full stops means you can protect her a bit better, potentially.
That's true.
It's something worth thinking about. Yeah, I do love Chewbacca. Chewbacca still denies his face-up damage cards. Yeah, Selfless being able to spread around the damage. Chewie can deny face-up damage cards. Wolfwaro can make use of that damage. It's a shame we don't have it on the Kashyyyk Defender. Yeah, I think Leia on the Kashyyyk Defender makes a bit more sense in my mind. It's the one thing I'd change here.
Yeah, it also brings those 2 ships closer together, which is nice.
Indeed. We got the Gambling Lando here. Sure, it's interesting alongside Millennium Falcon. I don't know that I love that, but he's only 2 points. I mean, I love Wookiees. I really want Wookiees to do well in the X-Wing meta. And hey, look, we're going to have Azatuks in the Rise of Skywalker, so who knows? We might get some more love for this ship. Yeah, very interested in all that kind of stuff. I like all of this stuff. It's just in terms of meta viability, maybe not. In terms of like just fun, casual lists, I don't really know what it's doing to sort of justify the kind of fun jank. Like, whenever I think about your Friday night list that you take down to your local game shop, I want it to be doing something really fun. And something that just feels a bit awkward, it's going to lead to feel-bads, and I don't know if even that is the kind of stuff you want for that kind of thing. So this is what we'd call in the Magic the Gathering community a Vorthos list. similar to the Saw's Outer Rim Smugglers in the last list as well, where we make a list that's fluff compliant. We have Wookiees fighting together. Yay! We have Kath Scarlet and Binyari pirates, which is fun. At the end of the day, that's really where the main value comes from. And you got to ask yourself, is it really worth having those kind of fluff compliant lists if it means you're not really having that much fun playing the game? It's really up to you what you value in your lists. And
as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. And if you do win, it's even better. So that's all I'll say. Anyway, thank you so much for all of your submissions. Just want to quickly remind everyone, when you do submit in the comments, either of this video or any of the community posts I make, please list and link. Very important. Must have both of those things, otherwise they will not qualify for one of these videos.
Yeah, it just makes everything so much easier for us. And
indeed.
Oh,
look, I can't make any apologies out of it anymore. I basically have to say, look, it disrupts my workflow too much if I have to sort of build out people's lists and get another squad build, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much to everyone that has submitted lists. And if you've already submitted a list and you didn't have both those things, feel free to resubmit it. That's all good. I'm more than happy to do that kind of stuff. Next week is going to be our last week of the season. We will be talking about the Republic Y-Wing.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting.
Absolutely. Looks really, really cool. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, do not forget to like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Reddit, and please consider supporting the Patreon as well. Thank you so much to everyone that has already done so. You guys are absolutely friggin' awesome. You have no idea how big that is. It's really the kind of thing which is going to make this possible for us to potentially do a full-time one day. We need the kind of support in those platforms. That's just how it is.
YouTube isn't going to.
No, unfortunately the ad revenue is just not so flash hot these days. Anyway, with all that in mind, we'll catch you all in the next video.
Bye.